So I sat down in the bookstore and read through 4 titles today. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I also took a look at The Awakened Brain and a book called What Would You Do If You Feared Nothing, or if you didn't fear anything, something along those lines. And then I quickly sped through 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson book. Now, I just want to talk about a couple of the takeaways that I got from this, because certainly there are many things that related throughout the books, and some of the authors made similar points. But just from The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, one of the main ideas that Mark Manson was trying to get across is that we all too often as human beings seek to avoid pain, and we seek to, gain pleasure, let's say, in the avoidance of pain. And in doing so, though, we actually create much more anxiety for ourselves than is necessary. And so this constant seeking for happiness puts us into a state where we are feeling the lack of happiness most pronouncedly. And so what is required in order to remedy this, he asserts, is that we should take a really strong, hard look at our values and also the metrics we use to measure ourselves for success, for happiness, to know that we are good people and we are living good lives. And so when we look at our values, we can determine that these are some things that are under our control as well. Whereas if I'm living for success, and the author of Awakened Brain also mentioned this in a similar fashion. She says, that we have these 2 aspects of our brain. Well, there are many aspects, but we have these 2 functions, we could say, which is called the achieving state and the awakened state. And the achieving mindset is that mindset that's constantly working to get, right? To seek, to accomplish, to reach its goals and things like this. And certainly while it's necessary to have an amount of this achieving mindset going on, that when it gets overused or becomes overactive, it actually creates anxiety, depression, fear, neurosis, all these kinds of things. And this is actually what's the cause of it. Whereas if we can shift from an achieving mindset into a mindset which is more closely linked to being on a quest, let's say. So instead of there's the goal, I'll be happy when I reach X. We know from all great quest stories that it's not about reaching the goal. The goal is giving us a direction, right? A vision, something to work towards. But that the richness of the experience lies not in the attainment of the goal, but in actually what gets uncovered, discovered, and developed within us as a result of going through this quest, this search. And so these are things, again, which are within our control. And so if something's within our control, we tend to not be stressed or anxious about it. That's another interesting thing that Mark Manson pointed out. And so, again, it kind of echoes this, whereas if we look at our lives as a quest and we're trying to get feedback from the universe, from our lives, from our experiences in the moment, and then make determinations about what does this mean and what is it telling us about who we are or what we're supposed to be doing. And then we use that as an interface to inform our decisions and the next move and tell us, what do we actually need to work on and develop more within ourselves. Then life is not this thing that happens to us, but it's a communion. It's an interfacing, connected experience that's dynamic, that isn't just me against the world, or me, I got to get my goals in order to be happy. It becomes something much more enriching and fulfilling. And also it is within my power, let's say. So I cannot control necessarily what happens to me in this quest, but I can certainly determine what its meaning is and what choices I should make based on this new meaning that I've uncovered. And so if I look at the situations in my life in this way, this will also tend to dissolve fear and anxiety, because I realize I'm actually just going through this experience in order to grow and to gain and to uncover secrets and mysteries and to realize things about myself and about the world that I didn't know before. And that at the end of the day, the arrival at the goal is not the purpose, but it is each day, each moment, each step on the journey and what it reveals to us as we walk this path. So just a few thoughts, a few realizations I made as I sat there for an hour and a half or so and went through lightning fast these 4 titles. Now, if you'd like to learn about speed reading more, or like how I use it, I'll probably do another video just kind of like talking a little bit about my experience with speed reading and what I use and what's worked for me. And I'm just going to keep developing it. So until then, my friends, it's been fun. It's been good to connect and always good to learn, because learning is my greatest value and virtue in this life. All right. I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.